How founders can put sales on the map first. Hi, Patrick here from the Founder Revenue Academy. This episode is part of our operations series and it's episode number 4. So let's get into this one. As a founder, you wear many hats. You will hear me say repeatedly that the first few sales, perhaps even the first 10 sales, will have to come from you as the founder. So this department of your business has to be prioritized. The challenge we see is that founders are assessing sales support amongst other non-related department initiatives, which is to say that sales will often get put on the back burner until it becomes a problem, and then all the stress of thinking where your next sale is going to come from will appear, and it creates a very spiky revenue journey. With 66% of founders coming from technical and non-commercial backgrounds, it's no wonder that sales are deprioritized and considered someone else's job. So I wanted to give some tactics that could get you thinking about how sales can be put on the map first. The strategy is to turn your attention to the lowest hanging leads, and the following 5 tactics are how you could potentially do this. So first is to become a thought leader in your space. So Q&A sites like Quora, Stack Exchange, Superuser can help to see what people are talking about, but also you could look to become a thought leader by creating a blog about a certain problem set, which is great. So blogging needs to be specific to a niche though. So trying to be hyper targeted. So like us at the FRA, we help very early stage founders by providing them with commercial skills they need to succeed. So all of the stuff that we do, all of the content, all of the blogging, the white papers, the interviews, podcasts, all that kind of stuff, and the courses obviously, are designed for a very specific type of founder. Early stage funded, grant funded, angel funded, own capital funded, that kind of that sort of stuff. So this needs to come out in your writing, your sort of personal brand. So if you know about the dark arts of SEO, for example, then write about that. Or if there is a very specific problem your business solves for a very specific type of person, write about that problem and be known as the go-to person. Second is to be visible. So look at review sites like Capterra, G2, Trustpilot, Glassdoor, and have your solution reviewed. Buyers will always do their research before they buy, and looking at alternatives and what other people think is a huge swing in your favor if people are talking about your product positively. So just think about the next time you buy from Amazon. You can always incentivize others to review your product as a way of getting more reviews up there. So when you do jump onto Amazon, you might have a look and you might see a particular product has 10 reviews and then a product has 10,000 reviews. It's pretty obvious which one you're going to go for, or certainly you'll be influenced by the amount of users. So 10 is a good number to shoot for initially, with a few different ratings, as opposed to having just 10 5-star ratings, because buyers see right through this. It reeks of inauthenticity or being unauthentic, so I would avoid that trap. The third tactic is leveraging live chat. So have a bot on your website. This is pretty easy to set up. So for example, HubSpot has a live chat function, which if you're a HubSpot customer, you can have on your site to help answer standard questions. You know, it might be things to do with pricing or things to do with a document download or speak to sales or something like that. So it's a pretty easy fix and buyers are used to them now. So this really helps your scalability problem and gives the buyers what they need. Now, there's obviously a word of warning here. Some people will get frustrated with bots because they haven't been configured correctly and the decision trees that they go down are just wrong. The HubSpot bot's pretty good actually for stuff like that. So it's worth looking into that and creating your questions and your answers appropriately. The next tactic could be to leverage anonymous visitors to your website. There are companies like Leadfeeder or Lead Forensics, so 2 businesses, that help demonstrate who is visiting your site. However, to be clear, they can tell you the companies who visit your site, so they do this through reverse IP lookup, but they cannot tell you the exact person who viewed your site, but it's a huge step in the right direction. The next tactic is paid ads. So depending on your budget, you could use this tactic and set up what's called a cost per click campaign or pay per click which is more commonly referred to as PPC. You need to be smart with your ad spend here because it can get a bit out of control quite quickly. And remember that these tactics are here to help push sales as a key business activity. And if you're going to grow, you need to have a culture of revenue first. And these 5 tactics are some ways that you can encourage these little wins and create momentum. Sales is a momentum game, and it pays to visualize people saying yes, visualize what it's going to be like when you have $1 million ARR, visualize what it's like to have a fully blown team, whatever it might be, because it reminded me of the Henry Ford quotation where he said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right, which demonstrates that the more committed you are to the sales effort and not to be dissuaded by people rejecting you, which will happen a lot, by the way, one just has to keep going and believe in what you are selling, which is eventually realizing sales gains, and this makes it all worth it. You're going to be knocking down on these 9 different doors, the 10th one opens, and then suddenly it's all worth it, and you get that sense of adrenaline rush when you've made the sale, you've got the signed contract, and you've got your first, second, third, 5th customer over the line, or whatever it might be. That wraps up today's video. Remember, we create these videos a lot to help our founders and run these mini-series on all the key pillars of scaling B2B tech startups. So if you haven't seen the other videos in this operations series or the other series at all, please check them out. And also don't forget to join our community with the link below, where you'll see all this content and get to interact with many like-minded founders as well. So I'll see you in there.